McFarland here. Welcome to Across My Heart Ministry. Before we jump into today's Martha Monday and this special recipe I want to share with you today, since it is Monday, February 1st, I thought I'd go ahead and call your attention to our new Write the Word bookmark for this month. Our word for the month of February is heart. You can follow the link below to the video that introduces this topic and tells just a little bit about how the Write the Word bookmark works. This has been a blessing to many of our viewers and our subscribers. We just completed the month of January, and a lot of friends accepted our Write the Word challenge and wrote the word new with us during the month of January. So it's a new month. It's a new word, and that word is heart. Lots of familiar verses on this one, as well as plenty of new ones as well. So we hope you'll follow the link below, download your copy of the bookmark, and jump in and start writing the word with us this month. The other second free publication that we offer every month here at Across My Heart Ministry is the Do It List. And this is just simply a one-page tool to help you keep home and hearth organized and clean and running smoothly. Because it's all on one page, makes it super easy. We have daily, weekly, and monthly tasks. And again, we introduce a new one of these each month. It's totally free. Both of these items, our gift to you every single month. So just wanted to mention those as we get started with our Martha Monday. Well, it is Super Bowl week, so I thought, why not share with you my recipe for what I like to call Super Bowl sliders. Now, you can eat them anytime during the year, but since it's Super Bowl, why not take advantage of that alliteration as I share this yummy recipe? Now, it's pretty quick and easy to pull together. You can make these with just plain old hamburger buns that you purchase, but why not do homemade bread? Especially when you can use that 20-minute bread recipe that I introduced to you a couple of weeks ago. Here again, follow that link below to find out how easy and how quick it can be to have homemade bread. Well, off camera, went ahead and prepared my bread, super quick, super easy. I doubled the recipe so that I made a full 9.5 by 11 size. I went ahead and scored that with my knife. So I had these 8 individual rolls. When I was finished, they came out of the oven looking like that. I went ahead and lifted the whole thing out. They were still kind of stuck together like this, but because they've been scored, you can break them apart very easily. I was doing all that off camera, and then I thought, oh, maybe the viewers would like to see how easy that is. I've gone ahead and cut each of these already in half, and that's what I'm going to go ahead and do with the remaining 4. I have this little spring-loaded sort of cutter that I love from Pampered Chef that just makes it super easy to cut anything in half. I use this for grapes often, but it just works out really well for my bread so that I don't have to worry about slicing my finger or getting an uneven cut. Now, if you don't have one of these little devices, no worries. You can just cut it on your own with the serrated knife. But as long as I have it, I thought I might as well use it. And while I'm at it, I guess I could just go ahead and link to that product on the Pampered Chef page as well. I'll put that on up for my friend Lydia's Pampered Chef page. She's my Pampered Chef lady, and I have gotten several products that I have used down through the years. My dear friend Kathy started selling Pampered Chef over 25 years ago. Neither one of us probably want to think about how many years. And I still have a few things that I bought from Kathy, but since I've moved to Arkansas and have either added some new products or replaced some that just wore out after 25 years, Lydia's been my new gal. But anyway, I've got my bread ready. And now for the thing that makes it so yummy, and that is the sort of mixture, the little butter mixture that you mix together to put inside the rolls themselves. So super easy. Now normally I just sort of do this by memory, so I had to sort of think through what my recipe is actually like. So I'm starting off with a stick of butter that I've left sitting out on the counter for a little while to sort of soften it up. And I have another half a stick in the winds here in case I get to looking at this and just decide that it might not be quite enough. So this is not as soft as I would like it to be. My oven is preheated. I'm going to stick this in the oven just for a second, and I'll bet with about 15 seconds. That might get soft enough where I like it to be. I'm gonna grab a wooden spoon out of here. Let me go through what's in the sauce, the little spread rather, while that is melting just a little bit, softening just a little bit. I'm gonna start off with 1 full stick of butter. Then I've already diced up very finely 2 tablespoons of onion. I add onion to things whether they call for it or not. I have 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, and I'm not partial to any particular brand. I think this came from Aldi. And then I'm gonna add 1.5 tablespoons of poppy seeds. Now my poppy seeds I buy in bulk at a little country store because it's less expensive, and so that's why they're in this particular container. And that's all there is to it. We're gonna mix together that sauce, and then we are going to spread it on either side of my buns and layer in the topping that goes in the middle. Let me go ahead and get this out just in case that got a little hot while it's melting, but I'm guessing this is gonna be just fine. Okay, let's see if this is soft enough now. It is, I think, soft enough that I can try to mash it together a little bit. I like to keep extra butter on hand because you just never know when you're gonna have to do some baking, and I like to catch it when you can find it on sale during the holidays for about $1.99 for a pound of butter, and so therefore I buy it and freeze it. I don't know if you knew that butter freezes very well. So I had all my butter in the freezer, and so when I started to lay out my stick of butter this morning to prepare for this, I realized I didn't have a full stick in my fridge, so I had to get it out of the freezer. And so that stick that I was leaving out to soften in preparation for today's video did not really have to start just from refrigerator temperature. It started from freezer temperature. So it took a lot longer than I wanted it to soften. And I think the middle part wasn't quite as soft as I wanted it to be before I started this process. So I'm a little frustrated right now trying to get this to soften up for me, but we're gonna kind of just go with it. It's not normally this much of a problem. It's going to be more of a spread and less of a liquid, which is what it's looking like right now, unfortunately, because I melted the outer part and the inner part is still kind of hard. But ladies, we're just gonna make it work, because nothing like improvisation, whether you're cooking or playing the piano or strumming a guitar. That's just life, right? It doesn't always work out like you plan for it to be, but we just kind of go with it. Okay, so that is just about all spread out. Like I said, if you do it right and you don't take your butter from the freezer to the counter and it's just been in the fridge, it can soften up in a short amount of time and you'll be good to go. So I've got my butter pretty much like I want it to be, not quite, but it's gonna be okay. Okay, so I'm gonna drop in my 2 tablespoons of diced up onion. I just had a white onion, yellow onion. If you have purple onion, it doesn't matter. Nothing specific there. And then this is the Dijon mustard. Again, I've already measured that out. 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. That just adds a little flavor, just a slight little kick to it. Here we go. And there is that. So that is going to add to that yummy flavor, and all getting mixed in together nicely. Turning a little brown, of course, because of the Dijon mustard, getting that all mixed in together. Now I'm gonna add my poppy seeds. And as I recall, it's 1.5 tablespoons of poppy seeds. I'm gonna just take that off completely so I can get my measuring spoon down in there. So there's 1 tablespoon, and then I'm going to add, I'm gonna just mix that up and see how that looks. Because here again, I was kind of going from memory. And I think 1 tablespoon is really going to be sufficient. We're gonna stop at 1 tablespoon. That's how it sort of looks when I normally put it together. So there's my spread. A little bit thick it should be. So it's gonna make it very easy to assemble our sandwiches. So we've already got these cut, each nice and thin there. So I'm gonna take them out one at a time. Gonna open up the sandwich. I am going to take my spreader here and simply spread a little on each side of my bread, like so. I'm gonna go ahead and do each of the bottoms, and then I think it's just gonna be a lot easier to sort of layer in all of my meat and cheese on top. Sometimes when I make these, I go ahead and do them in individual little packets of foil so that I can wrap them up individually. I think today I'm just gonna keep them all in the pan and cover it with foil and serve them all together. If you're taking it to, like, to a tailgate party or to a friend's house, or you're gonna go someplace and eat on the road, wrapping them individually will keep them warm longer, and just wrap them up nicely so that they stay hot when you take them. You can also just use one of those little individual insulated coolers that you take a casserole in, is a nice way also to keep these nice and warm if you're taking them. I know that sometimes in the past, if I've had a friend that's had a baby and I need to take a meal, you know, sometimes you just get tired of all the casserole type stuff and the heavy stuff. So I've actually used this to create a little picnic meal for a friend who's had a baby. So I'll take the sandwiches and then maybe do some baked beans, potato chips, a salad, some fresh fruit, and it just feels like something a little bit different than the norm. So this is gonna make just about exactly enough with my 1 stick of butter to do enough sauce for all 8 of my sandwiches. So I'm gonna get all this together here. I've got it all spread on there nicely. And so my tops and my bottoms are done, ready to go. Now the next part is the fun part. We're gonna add the filling. So I like to use 2 types of cheese. I have sharp cheddar and Swiss, but really you could use any combination that you want. If you're making them individually, then you can use a slice per sandwich. But when I'm doing them like this, it's a little more efficient, takes up less time. I just like to sort of layer that cheese across, and then I can cut this and make it work. So I am just gonna put those across, and some of the pieces are gonna share a slice of cheese. I think I'm gonna cut this one in half, tear it in half, and put the other half there and a half here. So everybody got a layer of Swiss. Now I'm gonna come back and drop in my meat. So I have chosen to use some ham. You could use turkey or any meat that you particularly like, but we think it's really yummy with the ham. So here again, this is a pound, or this is a half a pound of ham, excuse me. So I'm just going to sort of layer this on, and I'm going to just use all of it. And we'll just use it and layer it up and double it up until I run out. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there are 8 slices. So I could even just make sure that each guy sort of got an even slice and do it this way if you wanted to do it that way, or you could just layer them up and then cut them in half after you take it out of the oven. I'll just do it this way for now to make sure that each one gets its even distribution. So if you go to the deli and buy your slices and you double up my bread recipe, you could just ask for 8 slices of ham. It would also be good to do ham and turkey, sort of like a club sandwich, if you will. So there's all that. I've got Swiss cheese, I've got ham. Now I'm gonna come back on top with my sharp cheddar. Say that 5 times fast, right? Sharp cheddar. I just like the punch of that. I like those intense flavors. So the sharp cheddar with the ham and the Swiss, to me, just adds a wonderful flavor. So let me get a few of these out. And again, I'm gonna do just what I did with the Swiss. Just go right across, and the sandwiches will sort of share one of these. I'm going to take one more slice and sort of tear that in half. And then we're gonna be ready to come right back now. And I've already got my tops buttered, so I can drop these back on, and they should fit perfectly if I did the puzzle correctly and kept them on my cutting board in the right order. I think that needs to be turned upside down. I see the edge. And here you go. Very quick. It's a lot faster to do it this way than to wrap up the individual pieces. Although, if you're going to cut it up anyway and wrap it to take to the game or to a tailgate party, maybe that's easier. So there you go. That's what that looks like all together. I'm going to cover this with foil. I'm going to put it in the oven at 350 for about 10 minutes. All we're looking to do is warm these up, and after they're warm, all that cheese is going to melt together with the ham. The ham will be warm, the bread will be warmed back up, and all that little sauce in the middle is just going to add that delicious flavor. It's wonderful, it's delicious. You can make this a meal. If you wanted to for a Super Bowl party or just for your family as an appetizer, you can make the bread, and instead of scoring it to 8 sandwich size buns, you could cut it much smaller and just almost have little bite-sized appetizer pieces. And then you could just sort of layer that across and then cut them up and just put those on a tray, and they would be yummy and delicious as well. So hope this gives you an idea of something you might want to make for your gang on Super Bowl Sunday, or just for any day, whether you're a football fan or not. Thanks for spending this time with us here at Cross My Heart Ministry. I'm Laura McFarland, and happy Super Bowl Sunday. Happy February. Hope you enjoy our Super Bowl sliders. We'll have the recipe for that linked down below if you want to print it yourself and try it at home. Thanks so much for spending this time with us. If you liked today's video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. And if our channel is a blessing to you, whether that's the household tips and recipes we bring on Mondays, or it's the biblical teaching and truth that we try to offer on Fridays, we would be so blessed if you would subscribe to our channel. It's free. Just enter your Gmail address when you click that subscribe button, and also consider sharing our channel with a friend. Have a blessed week, my friend, and we'll see you back here on Friday for our next segment in our teaching through the book of Romans. Have a great week.